You have to look people in the eye who are the most vulnerable and say, sorry, your housing is closing down because it hasn't been repaired because we didn't have the money. Or if you have to look a whole generation in the eye and say, sorry, you can't afford to live here, whether you rent or own, then that is a huge problem. It's a huge economic problem, but it's a huge social problem in terms of how we view ourselves as inclusive when it comes to Canadian cities or Canadians overall. And so this is precisely what we're meaning to avoid. Is a situation where you ever have to say to people, you can't live here in our big cities, which are the engine of economic growth in this entire country. 80% of Canadians live in cities. And so I think we do have a problem. It is approaching a time when you know, there are people, in fact, it's past the time when there are some people who are already feeling and actually excluded. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're sitting with our government partners to say, we've got to act now. And if there was one message that was conveyed in spades this morning, it was the urgency of this. Operating agreements and financing are expiring. Units are being closed up. You heard it in cities beyond Toronto. People are moving away from and pursuing opportunities outside of our cities, even out of the country in some cases, because they feel they can't afford to live here. And so we're here to say, let's do something about it. And we're all, each in our own ways, you heard this morning, putting up some different kinds of things. Lots of money in our case. We've put up land, as have some of the others that mentioned this morning, and we'll do whatever we can, but we need partners.